Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today. Chris Bartel here, Cascade Pacific Council Marketing and Communications Director. And hey, thanks so much for joining us today in today's Wednesday webinar, Marketing Your Scout Unit. I have a feeling this is right up my alley. It's something I love talking about, of course, because not just because it is my job, it's what I've been doing for almost my entire career. And so I'd love to share this with you. And I'm super excited because I've also been a scout most of my life. So this is kind of a wonderful convergence and merger of all things for me personally, but I hope it's super helpful for you. We've got things to share with you from around the CPC in terms of marketing tools, but also from national. But first, of course, the latest news from around the CPC. So much going on, so much to share. First of all, the big deal, the big news is that summer camp guides, for those of you going to our summer camps, our fantastic, amazing summer camps, the guides are now available. Check your email for those of you who are attending camp, or if you're in the CPC, if you're attending camp from outside the area, we have scouts from all over the United States who come to our camp. So check your email for that. Really important. Also, if you have not received an email for it, or it's gone into your spam filter or something, and you don't want to dig around, go to cpcbsa.org/camp forms, and you'll see the information there that you need. The Cub Scout camps have a leader and a program guide that's actually combined into a single guide for each camp. And for Scouts BSA, you're going to actually download two things. One is the 2021 SBSA Camp Planning Guide, and then the program guide for your specific camp. So check that out, please, and you'll get the latest and greatest there. And be sure to share it. Share it with your families, your parents, even for those who are not going. I think it's really interesting. There are packing lists. There's a whole bunch of great stuff in there. So also, Adventure Club is now in full swing, by gosh. We are doing Hiking Challenge in June, and in August, we have Scout Quest. You can sign up for these things at cpcbsa.org/adventure club. And as a matter of fact, keep your eyes peeled, because there's going to be something even more to do, to have fun with, to just enjoy scouting in the outdoors. It's going to be awesome. So keep your eyes open, because we're going to announce something else, another awesome activity for summer really shortly here in the next few days. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We're finalizing everything. It's going to be really exciting. And you know what? These are just such a great way to invite people into scouting, or just to get people outdoors. Get your friends, get your family, get the neighbors, grab them and say, let's do this hiking challenge thing. Let's do Scout Quest. Let's do this next thing. It's really fun. We can win prizes, of course. We get stickers and patches and all those kinds of good scouty things. And but it's really, really fun. And what a great way to show people what scouting is all about. But just to get people outdoors and breathing the fresh air, who can beat that? So invite your friends. Also, around the horn here, we've got holiday family camping. So I don't know about you, but I don't know, spending a holiday, a 3-day weekend, actually on the beach, 2 miles of coastline all to yourself. That sounds pretty good. So anyway, so check it out at cpcbsa.org/family camping. And there's lots to do. It's just a fantastic, beautiful place. If you have not been to Camp Merriweather or our properties on the beach, oh my gosh, you've just got to check that out. It's so great. All right, another thing I'm going to share here is the Order of the Arrow. You do not have to be in the OA to do this. This is an incredible opportunity to do a service project. This year, it's an annual event called Arrow Corps. It's a week-long service project, and this year it's in the Willamette National Forest. Its base camp is at Pioneer. You stay at Camp Pioneer, and then you do these outbounds, and you get to serve, and you get to build things, and you get to clean up things, and you get to do some awesome stuff for the trails, for the environment, for the forest. And if you are ever wandering around the forest, you're wondering, I wonder who built this stairway. Wow, this must have been hard work. Well, by golly, it might have been the Order of the Arrow. As a matter of fact, let's see what they did last year, and to talk a little bit about this year.
This is Lava Lake's trail crew with 8 crew members working on Lava Lake Trail.
Has the Lava Lake Trail crew with 8 members here on the Lava Lake Trail?
Affirmative.
That's an affirmative.
lots of fun, a little bit of hard work, but man, you just make an impact, which is just awesome. And if you love the outdoors like I do, what a great opportunity to serve. All right, lastly, here, as we said, summer camp, it's coming around the bend before we know it. Only 38 days, can you believe it, until we actually officially kick off summer camp? It's so great. But we actually could use some help. So if you know how to cook, you know your way around flipping pancakes, by golly, let us know, because we do need help with food service. So if you know somebody or you are 15 years old and up, you can join camp staff. What an awesome opportunity, not just to flip pancakes, but to have a great adventure outdoors, making friends for life. It's just an awesome opportunity and to make a great impact on these kids. So we also need some help with medics. So if you have that skill set, by gosh, please let us know at cpcbsa.org/camp staff. Also, of course, you can get all of our events, the latest and greatest, at cpcbsa.org/calendar. That's where we have everything. We keep that up to date. Each one of the calendar items has basically becomes a webpage. It's got all this great information there for it. Registrations, everything you need to know is right there. So please check that out. All right, let's dive into marketing your scout unit. One of my favorite topics, of course, and because like I said, I've been kind of doing it most of my life, as well as scouts. So it's a nice convergence of all things. So let's dive in here. If you missed last week, we talked a little bit about branding, and I talked about the 3 Ps: positioning, packaging, and promotion, the 3 Ps of marketing. Positioning is how do you craft and create your unique story, or as we discussed last week, was your quote unquote elevator pitch, your short and sweet little pitch that you share with the world. Packaging is how do you present yourself to the world, whether it's on Facebook or the web or even in your Be a Scout pin. So these are really great opportunities. If you go to last week's webinar, check it out, because it's just about, gives you an idea of positioning and how you would do that, how you would craft and create your story there. And then, of course, this is all about being able to share your story, growing your scout unit, and really boils down to making a greater impact in our communities. That's really why we do it, and why these 3 Ps actually matter is it's actually about building belief and trust. That's what brand is all about. Building belief and trust in the thing that you're talking about. And what's interesting and awesome about this is that with that, when you hone in on that story you want to share with the world, is that you actually make these real, true, authentic, ideal connections with the ideal people you want to talk to, the right parents who might want to get involved and connect with you on that level. It also, what's great is when we talk about this stuff, it's all promoting the awesome impact that you have on kids, that your unit has on kids, on how your scout unit has the impact it has in the community, on the local community, and then combined the amazing, crazy, awesome impact we make on the world. And it really, through all of that, it really inspires other people to join us in making a difference and making this awesome impact on kids and communities alike. Okay. So the steps to success, so we talked a bit about this last week, was first you create an elevator pitch and your story, as we mentioned. You then create your Facebook page because it's free, easy to do. And I put some examples in there. We went through a few last week. I won't dive into them this week, but we'll have these links actually. It will be on the webinar at cpcbsa.org/webinars. You'll be able to click on this presentation and actually go to those links. So you'll see some examples there, some really different and great examples of how these units are positioning themselves and packaging themselves. And really the key to success there is working with your parents or volunteers, saying, what do we want to share with the world? What are the stories we want to share? What are the images we want to share? We want to make sure all the parents are okay with that. So the next step is you can take the next step and build a website. And you can see an example of from our scout unit. I literally built this page in a couple hours. I mean, it was to set it all up and everything. It's no time whatsoever. Once you have your elevator pitch, you know what you're talking about. So it's actually really, really simple to create a single page. And like we say here, that if you do it on Wix or Squarespace, those are drag and drop. You can find how to do it, do a YouTube search for it, or see the webinar link from last week. We've got a link, a little video as to how to do it. It's like a 12-minute video. It's so easy. It's really awesome. And if you're in Scouts BSA, one of the kids could do it. So one of the scouts could do it and actually use it as their leadership position. So really kind of a neat opportunity. And then you update your Be a Scout pin with your your messaging, right? Your elevator pitch there, and the link to your website. We talked about that last week as well. You can see an example of that and why it's important, because there are units in your area. All of them should be, you know, a little bit different, a little bit of different personality, and you're wanting to connect with the right people. If you're into kayaking and canoeing, well, share that. If you're into backpacking or camping, share that. If you're into advancement, share that. If you're into certain skills or STEM or whatever, you share that with people, because you want to make that authentic connection with the right people, with the right parents. And it really makes the Scout unit connect more at a greater level and grow, and just presents you in a really great light. It's really awesome. And then we start promoting, which is why we're all here, right? We're talking about promoting the Scout unit. Here are the steps, and these are pretty basic. First, you're going to go to cpcbsa.org/recruiting. That's what everybody needs to do first. The reason is because there you can order a free banner, these big, huge, really neat, beautiful grit banners. You'll see examples there. And so you can order a banner that you can then customize. Somebody with decent handwriting, you can actually say when you meet and the contact information. It's super, super simple. And you can put them up wherever, you know, around the area that you're meeting. These are pretty large. They're vinyl. So you use stakes, put them in the ground, tie them up between a couple of trees. That's actually what we do for our Scout unit. And it's a great way to just say, hey, look at what we're doing. We're meeting here and doing these fun things. Then, of course, you could choose. So you Scout leaders don't have to do this. Your Cub Masters and Scout Masters don't have to do this all themselves. Is divvy up the work a little bit. You can have a Scout, like if you're in the Scouts BSA, do the website. You can have a couple of parents, another parent do Facebook, and another parent do Nextdoor. We'll show you how to do that in just a second here, but it's actually pretty easy to do. You can then, as you'll see, if we go to cpcbsa.org/recruiting, which looks like this page, and I'm constantly kind of editing and adding to it and all this kind of stuff. So there's constantly new material here for you to check out. So you go here, you can share all the stuff that's here. You can literally click and hold, save it to your mobile device, and then use it as Facebook posts if you want. That's why I'm trying to make it so easy, so that you don't have to think too hard. You can just constantly make posts that have our content on it and this fun grit messaging. So again, the messaging is that grit starts here with Cub Scouts, and that grit lasts forever, because grit lasts forever, is Scouts BSA. And then we have different pictures here with different kids. Now, I know they're probably not your kids, and that's okay. These are kids in the CPC for the most part, and they are at our camps and things like that. So you can tell a story around it. So, you know, here's this little girl at Clark, and this boy's at Clark, and you can talk about, wow, we did this awesome thing. We went on the beach, and it was amazing. We can't wait to get back there. And there's a story that you shared, and you didn't have to even have any pictures for it, right? So anyway, so all of this content here is for you to be able to grab, hold, click and hold, use it for events, use it and share it. We also have some facts that you can also share. So you can write a little information about, hey, did you know we have 362 Eagle Scouts last year? Isn't that neat? Our Scouts are going to become Eagles this year too, or whatnot. So you can use this material here, this content, to write little clips and stories and whatnot. We also have a tip here for easily sharing your meeting or join night locally on Nextdoor, or Pamplin Media has a way to do it too. And we have some copy. So this is what your event could actually look like here. There's an example here. You can then actually copy paste this content right here. You could use it in an email. You could use it in a text message, whatever you want, or just as a post on Facebook. So all these tools and whatnot should be really easy for you to grab. You can grab any of these videos. They're super short and sweet. We'll just share one here, like kind of fun, kind of cute. They're really easy. They're easy to download. And kind of make you feel like dancing a little bit. Anyway, so those are there. You can download any of these, use them as you see fit, and put a little custom story to it. You know, if you see one here that you're like, oh my gosh, that's Pioneer. We love Pioneer. We can't wait to go back to Pioneer. Hey, check this out. This is from Camp Pioneer. We're going there this next year or whatnot, or this summer. You should join us. So all this is great ways to connect with people and use it to post your content there on Facebook. So we also have other downloads here. You can see here, there's a whole bunch of little pieces here you can download. You can actually click on multiple things and download all of them if you want. There's a fillable event flyer that's really nice. There are also these little email buttons you can drag and drop and put them onto your machine, into your under your signature file on your email. You can use those as well. So there's that. All right. Let's go to the next and just have fun. Like I say here, just have fun posting it. It is fun. And let's see here. That's some of the information there. The other that we just talked about. So let's go into some of the things that National has created for us. For those of you who've seen it, Summer of Service is something that National is promoting, and we're starting to promote as well. For those of you doing activities, service projects around the area, around the community, you can actually join Summer of Service at scouting.org/summer of service. And you'll go to this page here. Lots of great stuff here. So it just talks a bit about how you can get some advancement, how you can actually receive some swag for being involved in it, and some great materials about how you can share your service projects with the world. So check that out at scouting.org/summer of service. Again, there's great resources and content here for you to be able to post stuff. This is about marketing your unit and the activities you're doing in your unit. So these are great resources for you to grab. And of course, you can get all this great recognition too, because hey, we're in Scouts, you got to have recognition for things. So patches and certificates, things like that. So check that out. Really great content, again, to share your story. The other thing we'll talk about here is the scouting.org brand center, which you click on the /brand center, scouting.org/brand center. It takes you here. Check this out. This is National's content. They've created a whole variety of videos and photos. Now, some of them are even from kids in the CPC, which is kind of fun. But lots of great materials here. They're doing a really good job of just promoting, of creating photography, videos, assets. They've got, if we click on, for instance, let's go to Cub Scouts 2021 recruitment assets. You can download any of these JPEGs or any of these images. You can download them, use them for your social media, use them for even just sending a text to somebody. Hey, these are some of the fun things that we do in Scouts. We do archery. We go out and we do community gardens or whatever it is. So there's tons of stuff. You don't have to create things on your own to be able to continually, on an ongoing basis, share what you do and who you are as a unit and what you guys do in the world. So check that out. Lots of great resources there for recruiting. There's also something else we'll share in just a second here. There are a couple of upcoming webinars here that they're doing. You'll get links to this actually in your Compass Points email for those of you in the CPC. There's a theme called Escape the Great Indoors, which is a summer promotion program that they're also doing. I believe they were doing this last year. We all had visions of grandeur to do all these great things last year and then COVID hit. So anyway, so now we get to do it this year. So they have some great materials on Escape the Great Indoors. Let's just go check that out. That's really some fun stuff. And again, this is all great materials for you to promote your Scout unit. And so we've got stuff from the CPC. We've got stuff from National here. We've got stuff in Spanish. We actually have banners in Spanish as well, for those of you who want some of those. There's just lots of great materials here. You can download any of this stuff. It's all free, and grab that. So let's see. They also have another webinar on technology and promotional tools. So this is about your Be a Scout pin. They're going to talk about some geofencing and things like that. I'm going to talk about that here in just a second, but you can dive in deeper on some of those webinars as well. And we're actually going to have links to this in Compass Points too. So speaking of which, the reason to do some of this stuff, especially on Facebook or creating your own URL for your website, your own website address, URL is the technical phrase for the Uniform Resource Locator, to nerd out if you want, is that we can share that. So when you do this, we can actually share your story with the world. So for instance, just a couple days ago, we had Cub Scout Pack 209 in Beaver Creek posted a story. They tagged the Cascade Pacific Council in it. So it came up in our feed, if you will. So we could see like, oh, they shared this with us. Great, we can share it. Then we can easily share it. We customize it with a little bit of a story. So for instance, here, we're customizing it a little bit with, hey, if your kids want to go out here and have unparalleled outdoor experiences, make friends and learn lifelong skills, message us. We'll connect you with scouts in your area. And don't forget, your kids get a free adventure kit at cpcbsa.org/grit. So you can see how we kind of customize it, tweak it. And of course, anybody who goes to cpcbsa.org/grit, when they do that, and let's go there real quick, just for fun, for those of you who haven't seen it, and I apologize for those of you who have seen it, But I got to make sure we get the word out, because what's great is when we drive people to CPC, bsa.org/grit. And sorry, it's a little slow here because I'm actually live on Zoom. So lots going on in the old computer here. So what we have is when people go here, when your neighbors, friends, anybody who's remotely interested in scouting and wants to learn more, they can go get a free adventure kit. So they come to this page, they get a little bit of messaging, they can hear what we've been doing during this crazy pandemic. They can then get their free adventure kit. So younger kids get an adventure kit that looks like this. And older kids get a kit that looks like this. They get an actual scout book that is based on the child's age. So you'll see they fill out this little form here, and they get a scout book based on their child's age, which isn't that the best thing? Like everybody goes, oh, it's a book. What kid wants to read a book? Well, my oldest loves reading books. But anyway, having that scout book where all the answers to life's questions are right there in that scout book, who can beat that? And they also get some fun activities too. When they sign up for that, they actually get an email, a series of emails that just educate the parent about scouting. So we talk about it. And then, of course, they actually get a link, as always, to joining Be a Scout. They also will receive a phone call from a district executive in your area to talk more about questions they might have and talk about connecting with your scout unit. So how neat is that? You didn't have to do anything except for say, would you like to get a free adventure kit for your kids? Yes, I would. Okay, go to this page. It's that easy. And we'll do the rest of the work, and then you can make the final pitch to them, if you will, and just share how awesome your scout unit is with them after they've gotten the kit. Actually, after they've received a kit, it's a great opportunity for you to be able to say, "Hey, did you get your adventure kit yet?" And they say, "Oh yeah, we did. Oh, my kid had so much fun. It was just really fun, really interesting. So tell me about what do you do with knots again? I don't understand this stuff. Boy, it seems like there's a lot of stuff about pocket knives in here. Is that safe?" And you can say, as a matter of fact, it is safe, and this is why. So lots of great opportunities to just continue the conversation. Really, the objective of all this stuff that we're doing is so that somebody else says, tell me more. Huh, that's interesting. Tell me more. That's when you've got the opportunity to tell them more about your scout unit, right? That's what we want. It isn't about making a hard sell. The program, your awesome scout unit, sells itself, so to speak. And what we care about is making a greater impact with having more kids involved with scouting and making a greater impact on the community, right? That's why we're all here. So again, if you tag us, we can promote you. Not every time necessarily. I do my best to keep my eyeballs peeled for any time we get tagged for stuff. And we do have a team of people who's always looking. So feel free to do that. And then we can promote things that you're doing in your area. The other thing that's kind of neat about all of this is that if we publish something, if we create a post for your scout unit, like here's the example from Troop 117, is that we can then oftentimes, we can't necessarily do it when we share a post, but if we create a custom post for this, we can then boost it. And we've been doing a lot of testing in this area to see, is this worth it? I'm going to show you some real numbers here of when, after the wildfires last year, we did this boost for Troop 117 to test out how could we boost this to the area, throw $100 at it, see what happens. And we could target parents of kids in our category. You see right here that we are targeting parents ages 25 to 55, our target market. And you can see that we spent basically $100 and we got 10x the results, 10 times the reach. So, and it doesn't have to be $100. It could be $10. It could be $1. It could be $20. So if you're doing any kinds of really special activities or an event that you want to reach more people in terms of on Facebook, you can actually do that. Once you have your Facebook page set up, you can boost that. You click the little boost button. When you see your post, it says boost. You see it down there, it says boost again at the bottom of this one. But you can click boost and it lets you search parameters on how you could target people. It's really interesting, even if you're, even semi-nerdy about marketing. It's kind of interesting because what this is, it's a way for us to share it with the world. So it's kind of like not as targeted, I would say, as Nextdoor, something like that, which is free, takes a little bit of time, but it's not quite as targeted, but it's interesting to see what kind of reactions you can get. So you'd want your parents and families and volunteers to share your posts, but another thing to think about is actually using the boosting tool. The other thing I'll say about this is that we are doing a whole variety of things here at the CPC, from a boosting, testing, marketing perspective, that once we get some more data, kind of like what you just saw, we want to be able to share that. We want to figure out this magic potion to promote different units doing different things, different events, different activities at the hyper targeted level. And so we're doing a variety of things on Facebook. We're also actually creating some what would be called radio commercials in the old days. They are radio spots, but we're actually doing some things on Spotify like we actually did last year. And to test it out, it's kind of interesting. We can actually push our messages out to very specific areas, for instance, at a zip code by zip code basis. So that's kind of fun. And really, what it boils down to is last year we had 1 million eyeballs see our content, and that's really what this is about, is really sharing sharing all the impact that we have with the world, with everybody. And imagine, if you will, if we all did that as scout units, boy, the impact would just be enormous in terms of being able to share who we are as scouts. The more we all do it together, well, the easier it is to tell people about who we are and what we do. They kind of will get it, they'll kind of understand it. It's sort of we're sort of, in some ways, I wouldn't say starting from scratch, but I think from a promotion standpoint, there hasn't been a lot of it going on. I'm surprised when I hear people that go like, oh, scouting's still around. Well, yeah, because I've been involved with scouts since I was little and have had kids involved with scouts. But there are a lot of people who don't know that scouting's available and out there. So it's a great opportunity to share who we are and what we do with the world. Some of the things we're doing here are just Oregon Live, Oregonian ads, things like that, PDX parent ads, just so you can kind of see like what we're doing is providing some air cover, if you will, as well as from a marketing perspective. And when we combine these things, the air cover that the council's providing with what's happening on the base level of unit by unit, boy, we can really do a lot and share these stories with the world. So also some other things from a marketing perspective, and I bring it up because if you're doing summer of service, very soon your district executives will have these service banners that you actually see here. The one on the left is one that's generic really for us in scouts, just doing units doing regular service activities. The other one is for Order of the Arrow. But really what we want to do is when we're doing a service project, put up these banners, hang them between two trees at the place that we're working at, and share with everybody that we're here doing this great service project for the neighborhood. So that's something there. And really what it boils down to is that together we can really make just such a great impact. It's really such an awesome opportunity to really show just all the great things that we're doing. As a matter of fact, just so you know, if you haven't heard yet, one of the things that was really impressive when we ran some of the numbers was even during COVID, for instance, just tallying up Eagle Scout Project, for instance, we did more than 70,000 hours of community service just in Eagle projects alone. That doesn't include all of the other activities that you do out there with your scout unit and whatnot. I mean, what other organization has that kind of impact? I don't think any other organization in our area has that kind of impact. So together we can share these stories with the world and make more impact, grow. The scout units will impact more kids, and it just blossoms and grows and snowballs in a positive way from there. So there is the spiel for the day, the information for the day, the tips for today. Again, all of this information will be at cpcbsa.org/webinars. We'll have all that content there, so you can check that out. You have all of the links. We'll have that up there tomorrow. You'll also have it in your email for those of you in the CPC. So you'll have all the links and everything, and especially to the upcoming webinars from National as well. And one of the reasons we're kind of doing these last couple webinars is we are finalizing our program guide for your planning purposes for the next year. It's going to be, we've got a concept in place here that's really going to be great. I think it's going to be a tool that should be really easy for you to use and literally lay out the whole year with things that are happening around the CPC, the things that are happening in your district now that we're kind of getting back to normal again. And you'll be able to really plan out your year really well as have tools to market and promote your unit. So that's how this all kind of ties in together. All right. Does anybody have any questions here? Let me just check here. We're finishing this up here. And let's see, I'm not seeing any. Let me check Facebook real quick here. hopefully this is helpful. Again, really the key is go to cpcbsa.org/recruiting and to get all the information there. And because all the tools, and we keep adding to it. So especially as units tell us, hey, we really need more of this, that, or the other thing, we post it there and we create it and post it there so that you can actually use it for all of your purposes, and everyone can share that. So here we go. Let's see. I don't see any other questions. Awesome. Well, again, if you have any other thoughts or whatnot, questions, you can actually post them there in Facebook. You can message us at any time. You can toss us an email at info@cpcbsa.org, and that'll get to me in due time, and we can always create more materials for you. So anyway, thank you all so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Sorry for the sound whoopsie at the very beginning there, but hopefully it all got panned out. And thanks again, and we will chat with you next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.